Luke Newton, the charming, polished heartthrob from Bridgerton, is trading in tea parties and cravats for something much darker. In a move no one saw coming, he's stepping onto the off-Broadway stage to play one of the most brilliant and tormented minds in fashion history, Alexander McQueen. Yes, that Alexander McQueen. The designer whose runway shows were part art exhibit, part emotional breakdown. The man who revolutionized fashion by turning trauma into couture. And now, it's Luke Newton who's been chosen to bring that story to life in a raw, emotionally charged new play called House of McQueen. Announced on July 9th, the production will officially open this September in New York City, with previews beginning in August. The buzz is already wild, not just because of who Luke is playing, but because of how dramatically different this role is from anything he's done before. Just think about it. In Bridgerton, Luke plays Colin, gentle, likable, slightly cheeky. His entire image is built around charm and control. But now, he'll be channeling a fashion visionary whose life was filled with chaos, grief, and a desperate search for meaning. In House of McQueen, Luke will even drop his classic British RP accent for McQueen's grittier East End Cockney. And he won't just be performing lines, he'll be embodying someone whose very identity was shaped by struggle. The play, written by Dara Cloud, doesn't sugarcoat anything. It follows McQueen's early life, his meteoric rise in the fashion industry, and the battles he fought to stay true to himself, even as the world tried to break him. According to the official synopsis, it's a story about a boy who wears his heart on his sleeve, who wasn't meant to rise beyond his working-class family, but did anyway. And it's that very climb, through rejection, pain, and artistic obsession, that became both his triumph and his undoing. But who is Alexander McQueen, really? Born in London's East End, McQueen's childhood was far from glamorous. He discovered fashion not through privilege, but through raw, almost primal inspiration. He wanted to find beauty in life's darkest corners. He once said, "I want people to be afraid of the women I dress." His designs were bold, shocking, often disturbing, and yet they made people feel something. That was his gift. But also his curse. McQueen battled anxiety and depression for years. He felt deeply. He loved deeply. And when his mother Joyce died in 2010, just 8 days later, he tragically took his own life. That loss shattered him. And now, in this play, Broadway veteran Emily Skinner will play Joyce, creating a powerful mother-son dynamic that will likely become the emotional heart of the entire show. For Luke Newton, this is nothing short of a career-defining risk. There's no hiding behind elegant scenery or period drama here. This role demands emotional vulnerability, raw grief, and a level of intensity most actors shy away from. It's not about looking good, it's about falling apart publicly on stage. And that's why fans are divided. Some were stunned by the casting. Luke Newton, the sweet, dependable Colin Bridgerton, playing one of the most controversial and misunderstood artists in fashion? It feels almost too far a stretch. But others see the potential for something huge, a reinvention. A breakout moment that proves Luke is more than just a Regency-era pretty face. After all, this isn't the first time someone's tried to tackle McQueen's story. Jack O'Connell was once attached to a high-profile biopic, but it never materialized. Stephen White played the designer in a 2015 West End play, earning praise for the rawness of his performance. Now, the baton passes to Luke, and the expectations are sky-high. The fashion world isn't just watching, it's judging. Because Alexander McQueen isn't just a character, he's a legacy. A genius who never quite fit into the industry he helped reshape. He worked for fashion titans like Givenchy and Gucci, but constantly fought to keep his art provocative and meaningful. He challenged norms. He defied expectations. And in doing so, he paid the ultimate price. And that's where the emotional weight of the play hits hardest. This isn't a biopic with a happy ending. It's a portrayal of a man who tried to stitch beauty out of pain and eventually became consumed by it. For Luke, it's the kind of role that forces an actor to break apart and rebuild himself on stage, night after night. So, why did he take it? Some say Luke has been quietly preparing for a career pivot for a while. With Bridgerton catapulting him into global fame, This could be his chance to prove he's more than just Colin. It's also possible that he wants to shock people, to take on a role so emotionally demanding that it forces critics to see him in a new light. And from a strategy standpoint, it makes sense. Hollywood loves transformation. We've seen it with actors like Robert Pattinson, who went from Twilight heartthrob to indie darling. Or Zac Efron, once the golden boy of Disney, now taking on darker, grittier roles. Luke Newton may be following a similar path, one that trades safety for depth. But make no mistake, this is no easy transition. Fans will need to adjust. Watching Luke, who once strolled sunlit gardens in pastel waistcoats, now spiral emotionally as McQueen? It's a drastic change. But sometimes, that's exactly what an actor needs to be taken seriously. House of McQueen is shaping up to be more than just a play. It's a test. A test of whether Luke Newton can carry something this emotionally heavy. Whether he can shed his Bridgerton skin and embody a man who, even in death, still influences how the world sees fashion and pain. So, what happens next? Previews begin this August at the Mansion at Hudson Yards in New York. The full opening follows in early September. And whether critics love it or hate it, one thing's for sure, this role will change the way people see Luke Newton. He's no longer just the dashing romantic. He's about to step into the mind of a tortured artist, and if he pulls it off, he might just become one himself. Because this isn't just acting. This is transformation. And in the world of Alexander McQueen, that's exactly the point.